What's up, my people? What's up, my people? What's up, my people? Welcome back to Action Pack Boxing. It's your boy Action Pack. We're going to jump straight into the Jose Benevides Jr. fight versus Danny Swift Garcia. Now, Danny Swift Garcia made his pro debut for the 154-pound division. Now, he did his thing last night. Congratulations to him. He won a majority decision, 2-1. It should have been a unanimous decision because it was clear as day that Danny Swift did his thing. So Danny Swift just moved up to 37 wins, 3 losses out of his 40 fights. But congratulations to him. Jose Benevides Jr. is now 27-2. This is his second loss. Danny Swift made it pretty clear. He made it look pretty easy. Swift jabs and swift punches, swift combinations, landed a lot of clean punches. He was the better fighter last night. He definitely was the better fighter, threw more punches, landed more punches, had the cleaner punches. Benevides had a couple of good shots that he landed in, a couple of good combinations, but it just wasn't enough. So the question was, being that Danny Swift moved up to 154, will he be able to compete with a veteran like Benevides? He was very well able to compete. He dominated. He surprised me. He did his thing. And at the end of the fight, Garcia was very emotional, a couple of tears, because he had a 20-month layoff after fighting Errol Spence Jr. This was his first time back in the ring. Now, we all know Danny Garcia at 140 pounds, he went undefeated. He moved up to 147, became a title holder, and then he ran into some problems. Every time he would fight an elite fighter of the 147 division, that's where he took his 3 losses at. First loss to Keith Thurman, second loss Showtime Sean Porter, third loss was to Errol Spence Jr. After the Spence fight, he hadn't fought in 20 months. So being that he came to 154, decided to go to a new division, and he actually got a win, and he did his thing. You could tell he went in the lab, and him and his father/trainer, they had a game plan. They executed it. Congratulations to Danny Garcia, but he was a little emotional after the Spence loss. So if you think about it, most people that fight Errol Spence Jr., they don't fight for maybe 2 years sometimes, because the emotional and mental state that you're in after you take a beating from Errol Spence Jr. And I'm not trying to be funny, but if you're an A-class fighter and you have 30-something wins under your belt, some were undefeated before fighting Spence, like Mikey Garcia, ended up retiring. He was 40-0, got outboxed by Errol Spence. Errol Spence beat him up pretty bad, you know what I mean? Like, it was a one-sided fight. It was a total wash. That hurt Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia only fought once to a guy who we barely really know, and he lost again because he's not right after fighting Spence. So Danny Garcia, same thing. Had to take a layoff, had to take some time to recoup, and he was emotional about his win. They had a couple of reasons and excuses why they say they lost to Spence, but Spence was just the better fighter, and it looks easier on the outside than it does being inside in the ring with Errol Spence Jr. But Jose Benevides, now he's 27-2. This is his second loss. His first loss was to Bud Crawford. Now, Jose Benevides was shrugging his shoulders. He liked to stop in the middle of the fight, shrug his shoulders, and let you know, hey, you're not hurting me, but you're being touched up. You're being touched. Garcia was touching him up the whole fight. He was the faster fighter. He had the quicker jabs, nice combinations to the body, to the head, nice straight jabs. And Jose Benevides tried that same thing when he fought Terrence Bud Crawford, stopping in the middle of the fight, shrugging his shoulders like, you're not hurting me. He got knocked out. Bud Crawford clipped him with a nice, clean uppercut, crispy. Wobbly legs, took him down. It was over. He got back up. Crawford finished him. Ref got in the middle, stopped it, it's over. Benevides took his first loss doing that. Did the same thing last night. He was lucky he didn't get clipped with something that could have put him down. He could have got hurt. But he kept stopping in the middle of the fight, kept shrugging his shoulders, trying to let Garcia know, you're not hurting me. But Garcia was doing what he came there to do. He dominated. He landed the harder, cleaner punches. He was faster. He looked like he was still at 147 or 140 with his speed and all of that. But congratulations to Danny Garcia. We're going to see what's going to happen next with Garcia in the 154-pound division, because what he did was something that I don't see too many fighters do. Most fighters, they clean up one division and then they move up to the next weight class. Garcia didn't do too good at 147. So I'm surprised he went up to 154, especially being that he's a smaller guy. You have to gain that weight and come up there and fight people who hit a little bit harder. The heavier hitters are up there. But he dominated, did his thing. And y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in to Action Pack Boxing. We want action, people. Like, subscribe, and share. And I'll be back with more action because what? Because we want action, people.